Morning, guys. Lots of gap ups. I'm not really one for chasing gap ups, especially without any news. But if we can get like a morning washout, Ivan, then maybe I can buy some of these names. So thoughts on CGON oncology? Um, Not bad. We're not extended from the 50, are we? Doesn't look like it. Nope. Is it liquid? You know what? It's not that bad. Moves 5.6% per day. It trades about 80 million bucks. Not bad. Not bad. So this thing looks pretty good. Paul, good morning, brother. Thanks, Marnie. AEO for a short. You know, there are a few names in the clothing sector yesterday that were acting pretty decent. I do like how AEO is trying to get back through the 50. I don't know that I'm shorting this. We're no longer extended from the 50. MOG.A. What ticker symbol is that? Palantir short, we'll see what if it does against the 20 simple moving average, and it could easily get up to the 50 as well. Yeah, exactly. I don't really, I manage risk. I don't really see the short on AEO. You know, there's even like this Gap that looks pretty good as long too. So the clothing names aren't all that bad. I mean, Gap looks pretty damn good. Yeah, any news on Baba? Yeah, the Hang Seng was down quite a bit last night, so you know, obviously not the best kind of washout, but I'm still hanging in it from 159. The K Web group is pretty weak. Yep. Yeah, last night was not that fun. I mean, this thing's already below the 200 as is, so. All the what? All the metal super crazy this morning. You're tempted to go back. Yeah, no, I prefer low volatility. I prefer low volatility, not that that I don't even think I could pull that ticker symbol up, dude. Yeah, no, there's nothing to do with this thing. There's nothing to do with that. I don't even know what this is. And it trades like zero, no volume. In this choppy environment, why am I not just sitting on my hands? I am mostly sitting on my hands. If I'm playing anything, it's literally with 2% position size. Yeah, Hash, again, going back to the whole metals thing. Think about what you just said. I want to be a swing trader in things that are fairly low volatility or like pullbacks to ascending moving averages. I don't really want to be a buyer of something that is moving quote unquote crazy. Steel names looking good. Yeah, they are. STLD is, probably my favorite. I thought this was good over here. ATI is not all that bad. And this is gapping up quite a bit this morning on earnings. Yep. CCL. I don't really see myself buying this breakout. I'm kind of hopeful that it finishes tightening up the right-hand side. VIK, and RCL. And I'm not really buying these breakouts just yet. I don't think these setups are ready. How about Wolf on good earnings? I mean, dude, we're quite a ways away from earnings. This thing is not till the end of March. So can't really say how about Wolf on good earnings. This thing might be either broken down or this thing might be at 22 by the time we get there. What are my favorite names if we get a morning washout? It depends if we're talking about the names that I'm washing or if we're talking about the market itself. What names were on your watch list last night? That's the important part. Very few groups remaining. No, there's good rotation. There's rotation. Like, look at the IYT, right? Transports. And they're gapping up this morning. Right? I talked about this in the after hours recap yesterday. There's just a look at the XLP, consumer staples. Can't say that, very few groups remaining strong. Money's just rotating. So your eyes need to be on where's money going. Yeah, Hash, I'm not touching the metals. They've already made a massive move up and they don't have a consolidation. So, if you want to play them, play them. Toll, yeah. Home builders, not bad. Toll does not look all that bad. I was on the same boat with you, Ivan. ONDS, and then now it's gapping up this morning. Maybe a morning washout on that one. SEI is not bad. Energy related name, big base, slight gap up this morning. See what happens today. Manage risk, yeah, same thing. You guys are seeing something similar. You and CJ. Not a bad name, SEI. So there's definitely a few others. I don't know if you guys noticed, like marine shipping. These are also hanging in there pretty well, right? Something like Tidewater, TDW, STNG, INSW, FRO, TNK, ECO. I mean, these things are really strong. Can't really buy this here. I mean, I hate charts that are channeling higher just like this, but they're just not going lower. So that's always a good sign. Right now, we just got to wait for them to tighten up at some point. Can't really buy any of these because some of them are pretty illiquid, but a TDW I could. Yeah, uranium names, they need a few days. CCJ is the one I'd be focused on. They need a few days. They're gapping up this morning, so can't really do anything with that just yet. PLAB is not bad. This one was on my watch list last night. What's the news on TER? Pull up your little news feed. They just had earnings. You should have a news feed, Gerald. Oh my goodness, this thing can't get worse. Wow. Do I limit myself? No, I just size down, dude. If I can't gain traction on 10%, I go to 5. If I can't gain traction on 5, I go to 3. If I can't do that, I go to 2. I mean, dude, I'll literally start trading no size until I just notice the market being friendly. But yeah, I mean, in a day, like 2 or 3 names with super small size. AMD, I am interested in after earnings. We'll see what it does. Slight gap up this morning, almost 4 points. Google's up quite a bit this morning, about 5 points. I mean, there's definitely some gap ups taking place around the market. Even SanDisk. What's another $30 for SanDisk? Lily's tightening. We'll see what it does. XLV looks just like the XLV kind of. ZM maybe. I don't know about this one. I mean, when you zoom out, some about it doesn't look right yet. Pump looks good. Unfortunately, it's a little thin for me, but pump does look really good. Nice chart. ASTS, yeah, no, the aerospace and defense stocks just weren't acting all that great yesterday. And then PL. It's a nice little gap up this morning, so we'll see. Yeah, GLW, COHR. Oh man, this one's gapping up too this morning. Holy cow, what a move. That's just not right. GLW, COHR, LITE, CIEN. VRT needs a little bit more work. We have earnings coming up, I think, too soon, and it could just clean up, underneath this pivot for a little while longer. Thoughts on ONDS? Yeah, I was trying ONDS yesterday, and it just didn't close well enough for me to want to keep it. I don't really see the setup here on AEHR. BWXT, more like a cup and a handle. Well, we'll see if this thing can eventually get going over its pivot. 220. Lemonade, please. Looks like it's just a shitty trader, honestly. Maybe ends up going higher in time. Maybe it's buyable as a little undercut and rally of the 50. Maybe it's even buyable today as a 5-minute opening range break using the 50-day as your guide. But just look at this thing over like the last, just getting involved here looks completely miserable if you didn't buy it on February 2nd. ARWR. Nice looking chart. Problem, earnings this Thursday. Pharmaceuticals, so probably good to keep your eyes on PPH as well. The pharmaceutical ETF. It did just close at a new high yesterday, so Rocket, it's back up into the 50-day today. I don't know if there was news, so just make sure that there wasn't some XLE thoughts. I think it's probably the sector we'll be talking about for the rest of the year. I think there's the most amount of energy names shaping up. Yeah, consumer staples. I don't know how I feel about consumer staples breaking out. And then, software names and maybe even some financials. Although I got to give XLF a little bit of credit. But we'll see if this thing just rolls off the 50 today. So, man, Cypher too. This thing is just, nah, man. I've tried to get involved in this thing a handful of times, but just look at this shit. Does this look like any kind of fun to anybody? I mean, we're going to keep calling it undercuts and we're going to keep, and then the shit just doesn't move. At some point, I think it could go, but for the love of God, it's going to have to do it at some point, this decade. But come on, this is just such, like, how could anybody possibly sit or try to get situated in here? You know what I mean? AXGN, not bad. Another nice one. I guess the question is here, where do we really buy it? I'm not sure. A little thin. Yeah, TER earnings. I wouldn't be chasing TER. No, Microsoft's in a downtrend. Good buy for the long haul, sure. If you like buying stocks in downtrends, that can completely implode as well. I mean, how do you know that Microsoft doesn't end up going all the way to 340? You want your money going down another potential 20%, maybe more. I mean, how do you know Microsoft can't go all the way down to 300? I mean, I don't know how anybody would know the answer to that question. So to be able to tell you it's a buy for the long haul, yeah, if your time horizon is 20 years, I bet you'll be fine. But, I like the opportunity to compound my money, and having my money just sit in a stock that's in a downtrend isn't part of the plan. Why you'd even be looking for a stock that's, falling apart? Why you'd even be looking for the bottom? Like, what's the opportunity here? The stock moves like 2% per day, and it's in a clear downtrend. FTAI, not bad. Yep, but it's a little extended. Google's amazing, but has earnings. HAL I like. SLB I like. I made the mistake of buying SLB yesterday, and then I realized quickly it was extended from the 50, so I let it go. Would I hold BE into earnings? You bought at 139.30? Oof. What are we? 160? 139? I mean, I would be trimmed. I wouldn't hold the whole position. No, I'm not going to be playing GLD as a bounce play. If you wanted it as a bounce play, you should have been long yesterday, not on a gap up. Thoughts on BABA? We'll see if it can hold the 20 simple moving average. GH, GRAL, and GMed. GH, GRAL, earnings coming up, hasn't really done anything. GRAL and GMed. Yeah, I mean, good, but not great. The 620 setup is just you taking your entry down to a 5-minute. Okay, so let's think about ONDS really quickly. All right, so before you look at the intraday, what do you notice on ONDS yesterday? Pulling back into the rising 50 simple moving average. Since breakouts have been a little bit of a pain in the ass recently, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a pullback into the 50 simple moving average. All right. Then let's take it one step further. What do I then look for on a smaller time frame? I'm looking for my 6-period moving average, which is this faster sloping line, getting back above the 20. So for anybody who was a little bit earlier than myself, your entry could have been right here. But knowing that you had VWAP just up above, my entry wasn't until right here with my stop at low of day. So right away, I know what my stop is, 3%, 30 cents roughly. But once you get this kind of a push, right, where I'm up, call it 7%, I don't want to hold something back down really to red. My average sounds pretty good. But when you start to roll off like this and then you close fairly weak, and now all of a sudden, I had like a 6-cent cushion overnight, I'm just going to let it go, right? Had you closed a little bit better, like 185 or better, but when you start to close down, 1060, then, and I've got like a 6, 7, 8-cent cushion, that doesn't feel too good. So, but ideally the entry is here and it holds up a little bit better into the close, and then you're able to hold it overnight. Obviously, you close weak and then it gaps up. That's just part of doing business in this choppy environment. But the idea is you're buying something as close to a rising daily moving average, or you can do the inverse too. So good for pullback buys. PGEN, way too thin. Way, 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 way too thin. Institutions can't play this name. Could it go higher? Of course it can, but Nobody can play it. Yeah, going back to Microsoft, there's just nothing to do there, guys. We just can't. We just should not be. You can do whatever you want, but you really just should not be looking for the bottom on something. Not like this. I mean, it's been bad for 1 quarter, 2 quarter, now 3 quarters in a row. I mean, and we've lost yesterday's lows already. I mean, and the market was having a bid all day yesterday. Guys, you want to see relative weakness? It's Microsoft. It's the definition of relative. The market does this all day long, all day, and that's what you get from Microsoft. You get a fresh low. Why on God's green earth would you be looking for the 50? Or I'm looking for the 50. Looking for a pullback buy. FIGR, maybe. I don't really see a spot here yet, but what do I think about TSM? Amazing stock. I mean, it's been in an awesome uptrend. Not bad. Not bad. Don't really see like the best spot for it yet, but RTX is cool too. But again, no real setup here. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't really see the best setup. It's not very extended. Double inside day. I mean, maybe. Taking out a prior day high. Good but not great. Building higher lows, not extended from the 50 in a clear uptrend. Not bad. Do you stock option info for trade entry? I'm confused what you mean by that. Like if I'm looking at options market to make my decision, I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Alta needs to tighten up. See how nice this was right here? See how tight this thing got? Fantastic. Yeah, DOCN yesterday was nice. Little pullback right into the 20-day. Really didn't think it was going to make that big of a move, but nice to see it go. Yeah, we'll see if the banks keep a bid. So XLF. Yep, VLO, Dino, MPC, FANG, SLB, HAL. A first pullback into the 50 can be pretty good. Just make sure that the group is still acting well. PLAB is nice. PLAB is not bad. I would personally focus on the way that's more scalable to trade right away. Right? I don't like the idea of trading and needing to come up with a bright idea every single day to make money. Right? With day trading, you have to have a higher win rate. Can be a little bit of a headache. With swing trading, your idea is to limit your downside when the market's choppy and effectively unlimited potential in a good environment. So COGT, cognitive bioscience. I mean, this doesn't look too bad. I would just make sure you know everything about these biotechs. So know everything you need to know about the biotechs. Man, I was up so late last night. Holy scannolies. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I was up so late. TTMI, they have earnings, Gavin. That's the only thing you got to be aware of. They have earnings tomorrow. So you call it a high type flag. I call it not buyable because earnings in one day. You're not going to be able to buy it and get enough cushion in one day to be able to comfortably hold it through earnings. Yeah, ONDS maybe through prior day high or also maybe a washout and then a move back through VWAP today. Short FRSH. I've kind of talked about this before, Anthony. I don't really want to short breakdowns, even in this market. I'd rather short pops into declining moving averages, right? Like right here or right here. And I would tell you, go back and look at, pretty much everything that's had a pop into a declining moving average, right? Look at Uber. When it rallied back into the 50, it declined, or, rejected, rallied into the declining 50, rejected, right? Even recently, look at something like CrowdStrike, ran into the declining 50 and rejected, right? Look at something like a Coinbase after probably people thought it was already down a bunch, run into the declining 50, roll over. Look at what they did to, MSTR, run into the declining 50 and roll over. And they just do it over and over. It's the same thing. If you want to take a short against declining moving averages, don't really be shorting breakdowns in this environment. It's not really worth it, honestly. You can limit your risk a whole lot more against that declining moving average than you can, quote unquote, into the breakout or the breakdown, excuse me. Yeah, I've got an eye on Apple. I do like that it closed above the 50. I mean, we'll see what's going on. Somebody apparently told me that there's like this real craze for people buying Mac Minis now so that they can hook up like this Claude bot to do some random shit for them. I'm not really sure if I understand what's going on, but I have seen some videos on it where, that are getting like tons and tons of views. I don't really know what it means, but am I fully out of A-Lab? Dude, I've been out of A-Lab for a long time. Gavin, I don't know if you get the impression that I just sit into things that are in downtrends, but I don't. I absolutely do not. There'd be no reason for me to even be in A-Lab after this thing, just refuses to go higher. Once you start breaking prior day lows, it's over with. INGM. Oof, but look at this thing. Man, this thing looks rough. Let it show you some upward momentum. Plus, oh my goodness. Dude, you don't want to be trading this shit. It's so thin. You don't want to be trading that at all. You're looking at Palantir as a short? Yeah, maybe. Right into the 20-day today or the 50-day at some point. Who knows? See if it rejects at those earnings. But it definitely doesn't look that great recently in a downtrend. Basically, the thing topped on good earnings, gapping up on good earnings again. But we'll see what happens. Am I considering shorting SanDisk? Who knows? Maybe. We're very, very extended, but apparently there's a real bottleneck for memory. I don't know. More extended would be good. Maybe a little breach and failure of 700. Thoughts on ALM? Man, dude, there's just something going on at 50 million bucks. It's not that thin, but a little thin. Not bad. Touch sloppy here. I don't really see how to get involved. That's the problem. It's fine. It's in an uptrend. I just don't really see how I would buy it. It's definitely fairly clean though on the stair stepping. Gets nice and tight in spurts. So maybe a little bit longer. Could be good to go. Just thin. Packaging Corporation. All right, this one looks like it's too slow. 2.84%. Yeah. I don't really see the high type flag here. Earnings are out of the way. Yeah, this one doesn't get me that excited, although it does look like it's probably going higher. Packaging Corporation of America. I mean, it looks like it's back in an uptrend. I just don't really see how to buy it. It looks like too slow of a mover. Do I recommend trade ideas or not worth it? I mean, not if you want to swing trade. It's not needed. I like FinViz. You also don't need FinViz Elite, but I do like FinViz so that I don't have to look at ads. So Deep View's nice too. Deep View's nice. The theme tracker that they have is fun to use. I actually built. I was up late last night because I was building a theme tracker, which is pretty cool. So it gives me all of the industry groups, how it performed over a specified period of time that I put into it. And then I can click on that individual theme. It'll give me a bunch of stocks, and then I can click on an individual stock and it'll pull up the chart. So, yeah, it's pretty cool just to be able to build something like that, because it's nice to have for some people who may not use Deep View themselves. So you kind of have to just have that and know like where money's going today, over the last month, over the last 3 months, 6 months, year, etc. Are there fewer or less short opportunities lately compared to normal? I mean, dude, the last 3 months have been jam-packed with short ideas. Really, there's been good short ideas since October. Like the quantums continue to be a good short idea. The software stocks have been good short ideas. Do I always trail with prior day lows? No, most of my entries are normally same day lows. Same day lows. My entry and then my stop is at low of day. AVGO, yeah, this one will be interesting. Obviously, if NVIDIA continues to, ramp up a little bit higher, there's a chance we break back through the 20-day and then go and retest the 50. But the 50, I think, could be a short idea. Or, we just don't get above the 20 and we start to break down. I'm not sure, but appreciate it, man. Yeah, it is indeed the birthday today. So, but we're still here. Birthday or no birthday. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. GEV2 extended from the 10-day. I liked this one just a few days ago when it was nice and tight against, it was like building these higher lows. And you had this, it was a higher low and you got nice and tight and you had falling volume. I thought it was good here, but you just had earnings coming too soon. So not one that I could buy. And now all of a sudden, yeah, another higher low. I think that would be good. Like a little 2-day pullback, and then we could buy it right over prior day highs. Thoughts on Intel? I just can't chase gap ups. So, I mean, it's up like 4% this morning. Can't do it. So, a pullback and then reclaim a VWAP. That could be pretty interesting. ELVA. Yeah, too thin. And it's also 7 times its ATR from the 50. So 2 extended from the 50 and trading $7 million a day. So there's just not enough volume there. Like imagine it only takes one guy to completely crush your stock. That's not what you want. SYF short opportunity? Maybe, but against the declining moving average. Don't short in the hole. GME, I know we're not being serious right now, but I saw it yesterday. There's just no setup. I know we're not even being serious, though. It does. It definitely seems like the one that I'm just going to avoid, though, like the plague, is this AAOI. The volatility here, it's just too much for me to stomach. Although it does feel like it's trying to go higher. It'll be interesting to see if we're back at, 48, $49. but the optics are really strong. I just noticed um, Corning up this morning, GLW up quite a bit. What do we have? We have COHR, you have CIEN, you have LITE. I don't know why they're up so much or why optics seem to be, as popular as they are right now. But I mean, you can't make up this strength, man. These things are unbelievable. It feels like they're on their way to try and play some catch up with these memory stocks. I don't even know if I would call these a new developing theme. Like looking at CIEN and LITE, this LITE's been in a good trend for a while. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these things. I mean, if they could just shape up and hold on for dear life while we can get through earnings, I mean, that would be nice. And instead, some of these names are trying to run away before, LITE earnings. Kind of annoying. Futu's in bad shape. Yeah, Futu's in bad shape. We'll see if Baba can hold the 20-day today. I don't really love sharp moves, right? I prefer like controlled selling into like a key moving average. So into a key moving average is oh, very cool. Yeah, I'll have to show you kind of what I did. It's I'm gonna try to improve it a little bit better. Like one of the things that I'd like for it to do now is I don't always want to have to open it up because I built it basically. It's like its own app, and what I'd like for it to do now is just like every 30 or 65 minutes, so that it just kind of comes in periodically. It will spit out today's leading themes as an embed right into the Discord. So I don't have to like sit there and pull it up all the time. So that would be cool. NUAI. A little thin. I think that's probably the first thing I would say about it. 40 million bucks, it's good but not great. This thing has made a massive move up, so probably needs a longer base. A little bit longer here. And then just tighten up. Look back on it in a couple weeks. I love the accumulation volume that has come in on this thing, though. Massive volume. Don't really know what to think about it, though. It's just not perfect here on the right-hand side, right? Like I'm always thinking about, you got to think about it like this, David. Before you can undergo expansion, you undergo compression. This isn't good enough compression on the most right-hand side of the chart. Yeah, Deep View Theme Tracker is amazing. And that was kind of like my inspiration for building something for people who don't have Deep View Theme Tracker, or at least are in the Discord and don't have it. And I'd still just like to kind of dump information like that just right into the room, so we don't have to like go looking for it. You're up 10% on COHR. Sell before earnings. I don't know that you have to sell before earnings, but trim before earnings is always a pretty decent idea, right? Just make sure you've gotten paid and you can't really go red on the trade. Do I use VWAP for buys? Yeah, there are times. Like you'll get like a morning washout and then you'll get a reclaim of VWAP after you've put in a low. Yeah. Trail with prior day low as you hold the position, not upon entry. No, when I take my entry, my stop is day's low, and then my trail is on an ascending moving average. Ascending. But when you're just sitting there chopping around like A-Lab, I'm not just sitting there watching it go down 3-4 days in a row. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hopefully just a little wiser than I was last year. so I could stop getting chopped up like I did January. Yeah, VIAV. Man, I thought this one was good in here too, Scotland. What a move, man. What a move. 35%, 32%. What is going on? What percentage of my portfolio was generated just from trading over the years? Did you have a lot of cash to start with? Dude, I was poor. If you don't know my story, so for those of you guys who don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard it before, but I got out of prison before I started trading. So I spent 18 months in prison for weed. I had very little money. I started with 30,000 and I've made several 8 figures now trading in about 6 years. So yeah, trading has treated me very well. So all of my net worth has been generated from trading. All of it. So trading has been very, very, very good to me. But I also don't know many humans who spend, 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day with their craft. I also don't have kids yet, so that'll probably change here in the near future when when I do have kids. I probably won't spend 12 hours a day, with trading related activities. But for now, it's the job. Why do I think all Chinese equities are down? Because the Hang Seng is down. So Chinese market is down. Chinese stocks are down. TTI, yeah, this thing has been great. Look at how nice this thing was in here. Look at how nice this was in here. Even here, flat base breakout. Look at how tight it got the day before. Right? We just talked about that. Same exact thing. You get expansion, you get compression, you get expansion, and then you get compression, and then you get expansion, and now you're getting compression. So it's moving picture perfect. It's a little thin, yes. It's a little thin. Shorting CLS, do they have earnings or did they already have earnings? Yeah, this looks kind of ugly. It could very well be a late stage base. We won't ever really know the answer to that question until it actually starts to break down. But it doesn't look that great. Yeah, earnings are out of the way. I mean, earnings are pretty good for this name too. Do you have to go to jail? I don't think you have to do that, man. I don't think. Do I have a long-term portfolio? I don't. I trade. My wife does, which I manage her long-term. Her long-term has Uber from 43. It has Toast from 19. It has Tesla from 285. It has AMD from 124. And it has AbbVie from, and she has AbbVie from, I want to say 157. Yeah, AbbVie from 157. Yeah, right in here. So yeah. Yeah, we've got a long term, but it's hers. It's her long term. Do I ever have any meetups in Chicago? Yeah, we did one a couple months ago, and we'll do another probably in a few months. So it's a little hectic around this household lately because our wedding ceremony's in like 3.5 weeks. So AXTI. Not bad. I feel like this is one of those where like buying it against, the ascending 50 simple moving average was bad. I mean, look at how nice this was in here. Didn't think that this one was going to go make the move that it did, but Boy, did it ever. Now, do we just wait a couple of weeks to watch this thing tighten up again? Or do we just let it show some more strength and then a pull back into the 20-day? Thoughts on Prim? Oh, this looks really good, dude. Really good. I mean, I already had this as a little high type flag, and I kind of lost sight of it. So thanks for putting it back on my radar. Looks really good. You missed that exact spot right against the 50. It's sometimes like they're just yanking back, and like you just take them off your radar. My thoughts on NEM after the crash, for me, it's just to leave it alone, right? I got stopped out on Friday. There's not really much else for me to do. So yeah, it's gapping back above the 20, but I'm already out of it. Not a whole lot left for me to do. Short MU versus previous day's close. If it goes red, oof. Yeah, we'll see what SNDK, MU, STX, and WDC are doing. I'm in STX on the short side. I literally, I had a 440. I watched this thing grind up on me, and I was like, all right, I got a 6-7 point cushion going into the overnight session. And then here we are back up 443. So I'm technically red $3 on it, but do I plan on trading forever? Or is there a number will you retire and live off the interest while you coach? Yeah, and coach the soccer team. No, I plan on, slowing down a little bit on my activity on the trading side. Probably once, I have kids, but I'll always trade. I'll do my nightly routine. I'll show up to execute in the mornings. I'll watch, near the close to see if there's anything I have to do as well. But I'll always trade. You know what they say? Golf is only fun until you have to do it 5 days a week. So I don't really want to be retired from the thing that I think will keep my mind the sharpest. And that's probably the one thing about aging that should scare the shit out of all of us, right? Is like, I don't mind getting old, but I don't want to get old and let my brain rot, right? With just doing nothing. So that's probably the thing that I think about most. Yeah, that's the thing I think about most. Is just not letting so having that like daily routine where you scan the market, you connect the pieces to the puzzle, and it's just I get so much enjoyment out of it because I do like to golf. I love doing jiu-jitsu until I, had surgery. And I like playing chess. It's like I like doing things that just like require like me versus, myself, basically. Or one other person, right? I like to compete. And there's probably no greater place of competition than the stock market. So it's just when you love it so much, I haven't even considered it. And like, what's the number? I mean, if I were to get to like, 500 million, then yeah, maybe I could probably relax a little bit. Until then, what's my nightly routine? Scanning the market, eating dinner, sitting down, scanning the market, making my nightly watch list. And then so that when I show up in the mornings, I have less to do. Yeah, trading is a jealous mistress that keeps dragging you back. You got that right. So it's just, there's nothing better than this career. There just really isn't. I enjoy building a puzzle. There is no harder puzzle to put together than the stock market. But like when you are building that puzzle and like you click together 3, 4, 5 pieces in a row, that's like how you feel like once you've spent many, many hours and days at your screen studying and learning. And I've clicked together a lot of pieces already in my career, and it gets a little easier, right? It does get a little easier. It doesn't say you can't be wrong a ton, but it does get a little bit easier, but it's super, super gratifying to do. And I mean, the money's nice. It's not like I overspend on anything crazy, but it does also give people the opportunity to, give back, right? If you do well enough, you can give back. So yeah, nothing feels better than winning in the market. Yeah, it's your brain is almost rotten. You're still not profitable. Well, you got to keep working. You got to keep working. I would tell you the first thing that you should be doing, if that's how you feel, you have to be tracking your trades. Otherwise, how do you know? Like, I remember when I was a newer trader, I would just have a loss, but I didn't even know how my loss happened because it was a random trade. I had no exploitable edge. You first have to know that you have a strategy that works, and then you have to try and exploit it the best as you can. And you do that by tracking your trades to figure out what kind of trades are working in which environment and which are not. And then as you go through really nice bullish cycles, and then you make mistakes, and then you go through bearish cycles and you make mistakes, you get better every time you get through one of those periods. And it does really become easier. So COCO, yeah, this looks nice. And the beverage stocks are acting pretty good. And I don't know that cocoa is like an XLP related name, but it probably could be consumer staple. And consumer staples are acting pretty well. Dude, you know the first place I ever bought cocoa? Here you go. Right here. This is the first place I ever bought cocoa. Just before 15 bucks. Netflix dip buy? I'm short, so I hope not. I hope it keeps burning. Do I buy breakouts in this market? I like to buy breakouts after there's been a market correction. SNDK almost 700. Unbelievable. All right, guys, much love. Got to get stream started. I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Trade them well today. Be safe out there. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Building model books are worth it. I've done it as well. I've got a big binder. All my sheets are laminated. Yeah, totally worth it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.